How long a thing takes. An invitation to think duration. The philosopher Henri Bergson studied lived time, which he calls la durée, duration. If you define la durée, it basically means how long a thing takes. In Bergsonian terms, the present, as duration, is heterogeneous, a qualitative multiplicity. Nothing like space or clock time, and nothing like number. That's all a high-tech way to say that true time is intuitive, something we all experience, but something that doesn't translate to abstract concepts in spatial thinking. Duration is a force. It is that immeasurable change that happens while you wait for the bus, or in Bergson, for a sugar to dissolve in water. You might be able to measure with seconds, but ask 10 different people without watches how long it took, and you'll get 10 different times. Duration is continuous, but not in the sense of one thing after another. That is a kind of succession that is nothing more than juxtaposition in space, simultaneity even. Duration is continuous becoming, invention, evolution. With my research, I'm trying to build a notion of time specificity out of adapting the model of site specificity to Bergson's idea of duration. I'm working to clarify the relationship between performance and the passage of time. So far, one way to think about it is that emergence of everyone in the room really needing the passage of time, not because of boredom, but because the performance, through the passage of time, is making a necessary future. Gilles Deleuze, in his book on the painter Francis Bacon, writes that one goal of the artist is to make time able to be sensed. So, why am I moving in slow motion? I've taken up the aim Deleuze suggests, and I'm using slow motion to render duration sensible. In slow motion, the focus is on the act of moving, instead of the measurable distance of space that movement travels through. This puts motion into temporal terms, reframing movement as mobility, emphasizing indivisibility, replacing homogeneity with heterogeneity, quantity with quality, and event with force. It is the multiplicity that can only be thought of as variety or diversity, never counted. In slow motion, movement never stops, so it is continuous. In slow motion, the creativity of the future as newness is simplified. You still might ask what comes next because you can never know, even though it'll probably be yet another slow footstep. In terms of repetition, in duration, repetition isn't ever the same thing, so it's not like one thing after another, which is the same as juxtaposing two objects in space. The repeated act of walking, in its continuous endlessness, is a repetition of tension or thickening. These are the few of the ideas I'm hoping we all might consider through the experience of this performance. If nothing else, I'd like the idea of composing the passage of time to be something we walk away with.